Oh my god, it's such a formative movie.
Did you use formative like that because Taylor Swift uses the word formative?
No, I'm just speaking, you stalker. What the hell?
Welcome to Wine About It, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for being here. We have a lot of fun things to talk about today, catch up on. We're brand new women today. Like and subscribe.
Don't tell
Go
them
check out the
like
Patreon.
Don't tell them to do that.
Why?
People hate bossy women.
That is so true. That's so true.
Wow, I fixed the mic. Oh,
it actually looks better.
It does look so much better. I'm gonna do it again.
We're gonna catch up, and then we have a segment. We have the whole episode is gonna be an episode of firsts.
We did some self-reflection, me and Maya.
We had a meltdown.
For those of you that don't know, we had a meltdown last week, both of us.
Mm-hmm. About how we need to do the podcast better.
About how we're not good enough.
Yeah. That was what the meltdown was about. And so we chatted, we strategized. It sounded
like you said we chatted.
We strategized, shattergized. We listened to some other podcasts, got some ideas, came back together, came up with some ideas, and now we're going to execute those ideas well.
Yeah, and Wine About It will be better than ever. And also on the Patreon, there's a special bonus episode that will go up this week of Weed About It.
I am shocked. I wasn't expecting it either.
It was a surprise.
It was a surprise. Tell them what it is.
I wasn't suspecting it either. Expecting it or suspecting it. Neither of those things. Yingo, our dear friend of the podcast, he's wanted to do a Weed About It where he gets high with Aiden, my roommate and friend. Ex-roommate. I kicked him out. Roommate and friend. And Aiden is just a slippery little slut. And he hasn't been able to get his hands on Aiden. And Josh Man, who stayed with us for a while, if you guys remember, he's a Smash player, is in town for the Smash for the LACS. And so then Yingo was like, Josh, do you want to do Weed About It? And we're at Ludwig's birthday dinner and talking about it. And I thought they were mostly joking. And then all of a sudden the next day I get a text from Yingo at like 6:30 and he was like, yo, Weed About It tonight, 8:00. And I was like, sure, whatever. I show up. They've recruited Zipper, who is the producer from The Yard. They had cameras set up. They had lights. They had mics. I was like, crazy. What the hell?
Crazy.
Yeah, we recorded an episode of Weed About It. It's they were so high.
You got high.
I didn't.
You got secondhand high.
I got contact high. It was crazy.
Whoa.
Which brings us to our drug of choice today, wine. Maya, tell them about the wine.
Yeah, so 2 weeks straight, I've had a wine picked out that actually my boyfriend picked out for us to try because he cares about wine.
Boyfriend? Lame.
He's hot. And I sent a picture to Cutie, and she keeps forgetting that we need wine for Wine About It. So we have no wine for the second week in a row, but next week for sure.
Next week, for sure, for real, for sure. I'm so sorry, you guys. I've been so displaced.
To make
I don't
up
have
for
a stream room.
Next week, we're going to get drunk.
Oh, great. Yeah, we're going to do that. So this week, again, it is water.
But that's honestly important. And I think it's a good message to spread. I think everybody should drink more water. Not into a single-use plastic, though.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Everybody should drink water out of a cup that is reusable. And you should shame.
Yeah. Listen, I normally don't have water bottles. It's been a thing. I'm going through a lot right now.
Clip last week, she put a bug in a water bottle and died.
I did put a bug in a water bottle. I actually refilled that water bottle. It's right here.
After you dumped the dead bug out, you refilled it with water and you're drinking it?
Yep. I did do that.
Yummy. Nice.
Um,
I'm sore, very sore, because I played soccer yesterday with boys.
Maya joined a soccer team. No one picked her to be on their team.
That's not true.
They
She
felt
kept
bad,
saying
so
that I
when she
wasn't
got
going to get
there,
picked. She kept saying I wasn't going to get picked, and I did get picked, and I played soccer, and I did not score any goals.
what's the point then?
I don't know. I got really tired.
You're not going to get picked next week.
We'll have to see about that. I got hit in the head hard.
Really? Do you have a concussion?
Yeah, no, don't think so.
Oh.
I don't know.
What's that called that football players get? CMTs?
A concussion? I don't know.
No, it's like a disease where they've had like multiple concussions. The Country Music Television Awards. CM.
CTE. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
Yeah. Football players get it and then they go crazy and shoot people or themselves, unfortunately. Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
it's like
that's
bad.
awful.
Yeah. I've already had one concussion in my life, so I've got to be careful.
I've never had a concussion. I did not get a concussion yesterday, but I did play soccer and it was super sick. I also took a shower. We were on the phone, and then I was going to get in the shower, but we were on the phone. So I just put the phone in the rack in the shower, because we talk on the phone all the time, including when we're in the shower. And my boyfriend made this big deal out of it. He's like, I'm not close with anybody like that. I would never talk to someone.
He outed himself for having no friends.
Oh, true. Maybe that's the problem. Do you guys think that's weird? In fairness, I would do that with my sister too. But you're the only friend I have that I would do that with, I suppose.
I take meetings from the shower.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
They know you're in the shower?
No, you can't hear it. Maybe you can.
They definitely can hear it.
I don't think it's a big deal.
That's kind of crazy.
Really? Why?
That's a lot. I would feel really weird about that.
Why?
Because then they know you're naked. And it's like a whole thing.
No, it's not. I don't. I hate to break it to you. The whole time you were on the phone with me yesterday, I didn't think, oh, she's naked talking to me right now.
Yeah, but it just doesn't matter. It's
different. You think my professionals... You think professionals I work with are going to think of me naked? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't think that you should be taking calls with professionals from the shower.
Listen, this is showbiz, baby. I got to squeeze it in when I can squeeze it in.
All right.
As much as you can multitask.
That's crazy.
Dude, speaking of, maybe this is Patreon content. I'll tell this story on the Patreon, but somebody, I'm going to just wait. Maya, remind me, it is Ludwig birthday.
Okay.
I'll tell this story.
I don't know this story yet.
No, it's but it's about phone calls and it's very funny. Yeah. So it was Ludwig's birthday. Last week, his parents were in town. They were very kind. They did our laundry, which was really nice. We went to dinner. Have you guys ever been to, not you guys, like you guys can reply. I talk like there's a chat sometimes. Catch in LA. It's very like hip. The food is really good. But I got a big table at Catch for Lud and all of his friends. And we pull up and Stans gets out of the car or Stan's pulled up first. He gets out of the car and the door person will be like, I don't know if you're going to be able to come in because Stans was wearing Crocs.
No.
And then they were like joking. And then me and Lud pull up and we're both wearing Crocs.
No.
Not knowing there's a dress code. And Stans is like, well, if they don't let me in, then we're not going to have it. And I'm like, oh, they got to let us in. But luckily they let us in. But this is my PSA. Do not wear Crocs to Catch if you ever go to Catch.
I've been turned down at a club in LA because of my shoes.
Yeah, when was that? I don't remember.
I don't know, sometime last year. I don't know. But we all went out clubbing, and I was wearing Birkenstocks. And I got to the club, and the security guard looked me up and down like an asshole, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I remember I didn't go, and it's when you had short hair, and it had something to do with a hotel or something, like, or we were all staying together for something because you
no,
had short hair.
I don't know, but he looked me up and down like an asshole, and he was like, "Yeah, we can't do those shoes," and I was like, and everybody else was already inside the club. I cried because it was really embarrassing, and it was in front of a bunch of people, and he was like really bitchy about it. And so I called Will Neff because he was inside the club, and he came out with the manager somehow, and the manager talked to the security guard, and then they all let me in.
That's so weird.
It was bizarre. He knows people, I guess.
God, they do. Will and Caroline actually know everybody, but it's driving me crazy that I can't remember what that was. Because I distinctly remember I didn't go, and we were like talking in passing. Like, I was like, "Are you gonna go?" And you're like, "No." And I was like, and you were like, "Are you gonna go?" And I was like, "No, Lud's going though." And then you went anyway, and then
I don't know.
You were wearing a blue dress. That's all I remember.
It's so random. I don't remember what I was wearing. I just remember I was wearing Birkenstocks. I said, no,
crazy
don't wear Birkenstocks to a club in LA.
It wasn't fit camp because you didn't come to fit camp, so I have no clue what it was.
I mean, I was there every month, cutie.
It was no. It was the GameStop. No, not GameStop. It was the G4 thing where you had to wear the ugly Hawaiian shirts. Yeah, that's what it was.
Nice.
I got a good memory.
Wow, she's genius.
Yay!
Okay. I don't know if these are for Patreon or for this podcast. No, we have it. So we have I want to ask you about these things. We have a topic section in our Discord. And
that's for this.
When something happens, we'll write a note in there to remember to talk about on the podcast. And Cutie's topics are so confusing. At 2 a.m.
Don't say them.
You don't want me to say
it? You're going to spoil the podcast.
I'm going to spoil half of them.
No, we're going to talk about everybody then.
Let me just tell them why I'm confused. At 2 a.m., Cutie wrote butthole guy. And then a couple minutes later, she wrote naked attraction. So continue. You want to start explaining?
Yeah. I had some friends over last night.
Okay.
I had some friends over last night. We were doing a movie thing. And this is a fun way to do a movie night is we all wrote down 3 movies that we'd want to watch and we put them in a hat.
Yeah.
And then you go around and you pull one out and that one's eliminated until you get the last one. And so it's fun because sometimes you'll pull one out and everyone will be like, that's a good one. And sometimes you'll pull one out and people will be like, good, I want to watch that. Like freaking my one friend put in The Whale. It's like a Sunday night. We don't need to watch The Whale. Like we just don't need to do that. So that gets removed and we're like,
it's a documentary.
It's about Brandon Fraser got his first like Oscar for it. He's like a dad who like was never close to his daughter and he attempted to commit suicide and like it's like really depressing.
Oh, gay.
Did you say gay?
I said okay.
That's gay.
No, that's insane. That's not what I said.
Speaking of new announcement, Prezoh is taking over our Twitter.
We've been saying it as a joke for a long time. And then Cutie messaged Prezoh and she's like, you know what? How much? So now
that's a cheap bitch, I'll tell you that much. Just kidding. No. He's gonna ask for a raise now. Don't, Prezoh.
We are gonna, it's a shot in the dark. Prezoh's gonna run our Twitter. We're gonna see what happens.
Our social media manager is Prezoh. And please call him that.
Ferret is playing in his ball pit and it's really distracting me.
Okay. Just takes a picture. We haven't given him the passwords yet, so just hold on to your seat. Eventually he'll get it. But anyway, so we're pulling a thing out of the hat. We end up watching 500 Days of Summer. You know that movie?
No.
What?
I have to show you this video. He's gone feral. Look at him stare at me. He stares at me and then he
oh
starts
my God,
rolling around.
It.
He's rolling around.
Look at him go.
And he jumps at me again.
Oh, he's got to go. Oh, he's having so much fun.
He really is. He won't stop. He's still going. Anyway, 500 Days of Summer. Is that where they travel to like get summer for 500 days straight? No?
Yeah, that's what.
Is
No, it's the invention of the manic pixie indie girl.
Okay.
No, you've never watched
No, I
it?
don't know. I know.
Oh my god, it's such a formative movie. It's like, have you seen Mean Girls?
Did you say formative? Did you use formative
Yeah.
like that because Taylor Swift uses the word formative?
No, I'm just speaking, you stalker. What the hell?
No, because she said it in Miss Americana, and I have never used anyone. I haven't heard anyone use the word like that. You just used it, and I was like, I think she got it from Taylor Swift.
I didn't. I simply didn't. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, continue.
Okay, 500 Days of Summer is a very formative movie. You need to watch it. Like, you have to. It's like one of those ones. It's like, have you seen Juno?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what that
What? Have you seen Napoleon Dynamite?
No, but I do know what that is.
Oh
Are
my
you going to say that
God.
that's a formative movie? Because I don't think
Yes,
that
it is.
I thought it was a comedy.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that it's culturally. I couldn't figure out how to say that word.
No, I haven't. You'd be shocked. I have not seen movies.
Oh my god, this is so
I
cringe.
just watched Lord of the Rings for the first time, like within the past couple months. I just watched Harry Potter for the first time within the past year. I have not seen Star Wars. I have not seen Star Trek. I haven't seen Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh my god.
I've watched Angry Birds like
Have you
20
seen Mean
times.
Girls?
I actually don't think so. I've seen Freaky Friday. That also
Have you
has
seen
Lindsay
Pitch
Lohan.
Perfect?
Yes.
Okay. Mean Girls is really important.
Okay.
Dude,
Pretty
what
cool.
the hell?
Sorry.
We're gonna have to start doing movie nights once a month on the Patreon.
Okay, I'm good.
That's crazy.
Easy peasy.
Okay. Well, okay.
So how does
All
this
right.
have to do with Butthole Guy? Where does this come
I'm
in? Is this
gonna
where you're
get
going
there.
with
I'm
it?
on a podcast. I'm trying to tell a fucking story. Let me do my job.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Women, am I right? Audio listeners, I used my hand like a little talking puppet when I said that, to be more degrading towards women.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay. Because I had a whole thing. So 500 Days of Summer is all about falling out of love with someone, and like this
No.
guy being so in love with this girl, and she is the epitome of quirky, manic, indie pixie girl. Like,
Okay.
it's Zoe Deschanel who plays the main. So like, there you go. You know, bangs, big blue eyes, dresses like she's in the 50s, and she like, you know, she's like, when I get like, I love my long hair and I love cutting it. Like,
Is Zoe Deschanel the voice of the hot female penguin in Surf's Up?
I don't know.
I bet you she is.
Why does that have to do with anything?
Penguin voice surfs. It's her. She's Lonnie. Zoe Deschanel is the voice of Lonnie.
Okay. Well, in this movie, she does things like, you know, that like TikToks make fun of now, where it's like example, there's a scene where they first like talk to each other. He has a big crush on her. They talk to each other. They're in an elevator, and she can hear his song, and she just starts like singing along with it because he's listening to songs, and he like takes it off, and she's like, "The Smiths, I love the Smiths," and he's like, "That's when I knew I was in love." Like, it's
okay.
You know, that kind of.
Sure.
And anyway, apparently, and this was me reading the room. So I had a room. It was all guys, and one of the guys has a girlfriend, and then Ludwig, and we're watching it, and they like are talking about how like when the movie came out, everyone thought that the guy was like that the woman was the villain, but now watching it in 2023, the guy's the villain, and
Okay.
I sat there and I was confused, and I was just trying to be agreeable. I still feel like the woman is the villain. And I'm like, am I not woke?
I wish that I could engage in this conversation with you, but I have
No.
not seen the movie and I have no idea what you're talking about.
I need you to watch it so we can talk about it next week.
Okay.
Because everyone else that watches this podcast has seen 500 Days of Summer. And if you haven't, there's your homework assignment. I'm pumping 500 Days of Summer. The stock is going up. Everybody watch 500 Days of Summer so we can talk about it next week, because I am confused. Oh my God, Maya, there's a spider. Why is my life like this? Oh my God, it's so big.
Friend.
It's a daddy long legs, but it's not, because the body is longer. It's not like a dot, you know?
Friend. Don't react like you're scared, because that's bad for spiders. Invertebrate conservation is very important, everybody. Invertebrates make up 94% of our animal species. Animals without a spine, jellyfish, spiders, slugs, tarantulas, whatever, sea sponges. 94% of our animal species.
Bro,
they're very important. They rule the world. And we hate them. And if we didn't have them, we would all die. Horrific, tragic, very fast deaths.
How?
Because invertebrates are detritivores. Bugs are detritivores. They break down organic material so we don't get suffocated by poo-poo. They are natural biological pest control. They eat other flying bugs so our world isn't taken over by bugs because they eat each other.
I put it under a cup.
They fertilize soils so that we can grow food, because we need to grow food to eat, not just plants, also to eat animals, because we grow wheat and corn to feed animal agriculture.
He's living under a cup.
Pollinators or bugs.
He's under a cup.
Right. Okay, that's fine.
I'll let him out before I leave, and then Ludwig can deal with him later.
Okay. Anyway, there's my educational segment of the day.
Thanks a lot.
I can watch that movie. Excuse me. I can watch that movie, and then we can have a conversation.
We have to discuss. Because I don't know. Apparently, it's one of those movies that everyone has an opinion on.
You know what else everyone has an opinion on?
Huh?
This whole Jonah Hill situation.
Oh yeah.
Who's the bad guy? Jonah Hill or his ex-girlfriend? It's all over Twitter.
For those of you who don't know, which we'll circle back. Don't worry. We always get there. We're going to segue because we're a professional podcast. For those of you that don't know, his ex-girlfriend, which I don't know how long they dated. Do you?
I don't either. Mm-mm.
His ex-girlfriend tweeted this out from December 2021, where he says to her, plain and simple, if you need, and then he has bullet points, surfing with men, boundary-less inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, I am not the right partner for you. If these bring you a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust.
These texts have brought up a lot of conversation. Lot of conversation. There is a tweet. I don't need to find it to read it verbatim. It was a quote retweet of that. And it was, bro is just setting boundaries. I see nothing wrong. And it had like 80,000 likes. And this whole thread is talking about like, who's in the wrong? Because he said, if this is not for you, I support it. And those are just my boundaries for a relationship. And, I wish you the best, whatever. He said it in a very nice way. And so people are like, he just listed out what he wants and then told her she could leave. Here's the problem with that logic. You don't just get to say, like, if you don't like it, leave when you're in a relationship. That logic is not good. That can be, how about that logic can be abused? Seriously, like you can be in a relationship, become codependent on each other, develop really unhealthy boundaries, saying like, I don't want you talking to her, him, and then it feels unfair to your partner. You cannot, if you're giving your partner unfair boundaries, say, if you don't like it, leave then.
This is where I think, and tell me if I'm being too generous, I think we're like missing important context. Because like,
I'm sure we are. I mean, there's screenshot text messages.
Yeah,
I have more context. She posted more than that.
No, I'm just saying like, okay, Is this something that they went into the relationship with? Like, if you start a relationship and he's like,
No.
hey, you know that.
Yes. She put up more screenshots. They started talking, I think, on Instagram. Could be wrong about that. But she had surfing photos. She's a surfing instructor, context. Like, she's a surfing. So her Instagram is all like surfing. And he would like heart react to her surfing photos before they were dating.
Oh.
So like her swimsuit photos, or she was in a swimsuit surfing. So he would like heart react to it. Here's my problem with the whole thing. I think that you can have things that you want in a relationship. Not everybody wants to be with somebody that is a model. Not everyone wants to be with someone that has an OnlyFans. Those things are fine, but you can't take someone that is doing those things before and then once you get them, say,
change them.
Stop it. Yeah. That's the problem for me.
Part of me wonders if she ever cheated on him based on my boundaries with you, based on ways these actions have hurt our trust. Like,
I don't know.
Did she cheat on him with a guy that she was teaching how to surf? And so then that made him insecure. Like, and then they were working on it and said, okay, these are the new boundaries in our relationship. That's the stuff that, like, I wonder, and I wish there was context.
That's kind of a tough one. I don't know. Regardless, some of the bullets that he listed, allowed. Some of the bullets that are listed for him, I hadn't thought about the cheating scenario, but like some of the bullets that he listed are not appropriate boundaries, I think, for anybody to have. You can't
really, even with cheating?
I haven't thought about the cheating thing. I don't know how I feel about that.
That's the only, that's the two angles that I give him any.
That's what happened.
Huh?
I doubt she would be the one to post those if that's what happened.
No, that's what I would think. I also, maybe it's internalized misogyny here, which happens. I also think it's such a red flag to even post this. Like, if he wasn't a celebrity, you wouldn't post it.
More
it's just
context.
A normal fight with an awful boyfriend. Like, he's just not a good boyfriend.
He also went and had her delete a bunch of pictures, a bunch of like. So he sent that. She was like, "Okay, what do you want me to do?" Because she didn't want to break up. And then he like sent her posts to delete.
Oh
like,
my God.
Swimsuit photos, surfing videos, whatever. And one of them, she was in a one-piece swimsuit surfing. And she was like, "That's my best surfing video. Would it make you feel better if the thumbnail was different?" And he's like, "Yeah, maybe something that isn't you in a fucking thong or something." And she was like, "It's not a thong, but okay." And he was like, "I'm done." So he's like, there are a lot of very clear red flags. I think if we're excluding the cheating piece, because probably best to not
changes paths in a relationship. Yeah,
that too. But the some of the things that he listed, like saying no surfing with men. If her job is being a surfing instructor, that's saying like no having male coworkers.
I think that's crazy.
You can't do that. That's not a boundary. That's like not okay.
The only time that's acceptable is, we're ignoring the cheating thing, is, which even then, like, just leave a cheater like Jonah. If she cheated, like, you should just leave. But the only time that's acceptable is if it is like Henry keeps going to surf lessons and he keeps grabbing her ass. Then it's like, no lessons with Henry. You can't just outlaw like the entire sex.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel the same way about that. And yeah, so I talked about this with my boyfriend the other day, because I was like, maybe this is like more nuanced than I thought or whatever. And
you're like, I want to be a surf instructor. What are my
right. Well, the thing is, like, boyfriends wanting to control what you post, who you talk to, very dangerous territory, very like slippery slope territory, controlling territory, not good. But at the same time, if you guys know what I post. If I decided now that I wanted to start an OnlyFans, or I wanted to start posting, like if I wanted to start like swimsuit modeling or something, my boyfriend would have a say in that, you know? Or
you'd have to talk to him.
If he was like, I'm not comfortable with that, it would be it would have to be a discussion, you know? But I definitely wouldn't immediately be like, yikes, don't control me, because I wasn't doing that before. But if you're doing that before and they like it before, and then they lock you down and they're like, stop it, Absolutely not.
That's
Hate that.
crazy. I think like a valid one on his list is boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men. It's like, you really need to bullet that.
Yeah, that, I mean, yeah.
That feels like, that's why I'm saying, like, it feels like she cheated at some point. And like I said, I'm probably being too gracious to him.
Yeah. I think we also have like a creator perspective and like understand that things can be taken out of context and then we can get dogpiled. Like, I think that's part of where
Yeah.
that comes from, is you wanting to take his side, but I think there's also probably internalized misogyny in there.
Yeah,
Because
I think so too.
it shouldn't jump to like, oh, he's being controlling, what's she doing wrong? You know, or what has she done wrong? What has she done to
You're
deserve
right.
that? Like,
I'm
it
just
very
trying,
well
I
could
think
be like
I like to like find solutions when I look at things, and none of this makes sense besides, oh, she cheated.
Like, I mean, it
like,
makes sense. He's just a insecure guy.
Exactly. So then it's like, oh no, he's just, the things are, she cheated or he's just a really fucking big asshole, which is probably what it is.
Right.
I also think friendships with women who are in unstable places and from wild recent past beyond getting lunch or coffee or something respectable is such a crazy, like,
that's crazy to me.
Friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past.
She had like a party phase. He doesn't want her hanging out with like sorority friends.
Yeah,
not college, but I mean like that
like
vibe. Like drinking friends. He doesn't want her to go out, which is not okay.
That's weird. Yeah.
You don't get to pick her friends. Regardless of, like, I don't know. Like, that's, regardless of who she was hanging out with before or not, like, you don't get to
it doesn't
say,
matter
like,
how crazy they are. You can't be like,
you can't,
by the
be
way,
friends
no
with
hanging
her.
out with Samantha anymore. Like,
yeah.
Billy's got a drinking problem. Please ditch her at the curb. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty crazy. I'm just, it's a bummer to see so many people falling for because the end of the text message is really nice, right? Where he's like, if this is what you need to be happy, I fully support you. There will be no hard feelings. These are just my boundaries. They say it in such a nice way, and it sounds so like hospitable. I don't know, like charming. Nice.
I just found more context. I didn't see this.
So many people are seeing that, and they're like, he's being very respectful. He's just setting his boundaries. That's such a tactic, and I'm so bummed that so many people are not seeing through it. Because I've had so many guys.
Yeah, you set boundaries at beginning of relationships.
Yeah, but like,
it's like signing up for insurance
in relationships,
which I know a lot about.
A guy that's smart, they like articulate it and they're nice about it, but it's covering some like really abusive, controlling shit. Like, that's not okay. But
you can only get insurance during the sign-up period that's usually in November to January 1st, unless a dramatic life event happens, like changing jobs or moving or a death of the person that you had insurance with. And that's like relationships at the beginning, aka the enrollment period from November to January 1st is when you have to establish boundaries. And then if something bad happens, that's when you can change boundaries. Like insurance. You're welcome, everybody.
But instead, not to generalize, but if they cheated, you should just leave.
Yeah, you should just leave. You shouldn't make boundaries. I was actually talking about this. I'm curious. Do you think there's any type of cheating that can be worked through? So these are my tiers of cheating. This is my tier list as someone that's been cheated on. There is S tier, the worst type of cheating is emotional and physical. Like, you're in love with someone, you hook up on the weekends, you have a new family with them, whatever, like crazy.
Life cheating. Yeah.
And then there's B tier for me is emotional cheating. I think that's pretty rough. C tier is I guess B tier is one picture, emotional cheating. Next one over is consistent or reoccurring physical cheating. And then C tier is like, you were drunk and you were crazy at a bachelor party and you had sex with someone.
Yeah.
And I think C and B are workable. Am I crazy?
Yes.
Oh no.
That sucks.
Do you think any of them are workable?
No,
Really?
I don't.
Not even C? Not
Because
even like
no.
what if it's like a kiss? What if it's like down here in F, they're drunk at a bar?
If they fell on each other and it was an accident and their lips touched on
No, it was a
accident,
moment of
yes.
like humanity,
No,
of carnal desire fueled
absolutely
by
not.
tequila. Wow.
That's a hard no.
Q?
Because
It's good self-worth.
the problem I have,
I do
and
not.
the way you said it in tears, is I think it's very linear and predictable. I think if you let the bottom go, it's going to escalate. If they have those needs or those feelings of like, I want to explore other things, they won't satisfy that need until they're not with you anymore.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to do it for them to have a drunken hookup and be like, wait, no, but I love you. Of course they're going to think that because they don't want to lose you in the moment because they're a little bit dependent on you. But it's not going to, that doesn't resolve it. They're not like, I checked that out and I don't want it and it feels bad.
Wow. You have standards. Congratulations.
I'm actually surprised that you don't at this point. Old you, I would think like you would be fine with anything. But now, it makes me really sad. I don't like
I haven't
that.
cheated on many, many times. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm a very forgiving person, unfortunately. To a fault. Eventually, I just get tired of feeling angry and or guilty about something. Like guilty, this is a weird thing that I do. When I say guilty, even if I am guiltless, if I am the one who was hurt, I eventually feel guilty for not forgiving them, for making them feel worse, if that makes sense.
That's so sad.
I know. I know.
That's so like, I feel like that's so conditioned too, of just like your shitty ex-boyfriends. Because they make a mistake, right? Here's how it goes, right? They make a mistake. This has happened to me, not with cheating, but like they make a mistake, right? I am upset about it. I hold a grudge over it. It comes up sometimes. I get anxiety over it. I'm like, I just can't stop thinking about it. And they're like, when are you going to stop punishing me? Like, I said, I'm sorry. What else do you want from me? You know, like they just do that and they do it enough to the point where when you think about it, you're like, man, I have to stop doing that to him. I have to stop punishing him. I'll apologize. What else could I possibly want? Imagine that being flipped to you. Crazy shit. Crazy. Not okay.
Well, I think about it like, okay, here we go. This is just the most perfect example that I can talk about. I think about it like the H-Rock situation. Okay. This is someone who is a good, don't make those eyes. It's fine.
What eyes?
This was someone that was like a very close friend of ours. He was like, literally, I loved this guy. I never would have expected, I never would have expected that. It's just crazy what happened and it sucks. And eventually, and I will say, we've said this before on the podcast, he's very earnest in his efforts to do any sort of fixing that he could have done. I think I've compared it to a wildfire. At least he's replanting the trees, like at least there's that, he's genuinely very earnest in his approach, but I don't know when full forgiveness will happen until I don't feel that burn when I think about it or talk about it. And I think that's when real forgiveness can happen. But there's still times like, I'm putting this big dinner together for Ludwig's birthday and I feel guilty because I'm the reason that Atriarch can't be there.
Ooh,
right?
That is so in line with like, I feel bad that this guy lost his job or lost his college credits because he raped me.
Oh, that feels like a jump.
But it's parallel, isn't it?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's the same logic. It's not your fault.
It just makes me sad.
Yeah, I get it. But that's not your fault. That is like the victim complex. That's not it.
Yeah. Well, Jonah Hill might be a bad boyfriend, and I'm happy we talked about it. Hey, PSA, guys, don't date Jonah Hill. Any of our listeners out there who are hot and horny for Jonah, don't do it.
Yeah. The other thing I will say, like last note, because we're creators and we get that like this, yeah, posting screenshots of this is kind of weird. I don't really know what the
this is where I come from. Imagine one of my ex-boyfriends randomly just posts screenshots from one of our heated arguments.
I'm sure I have gnarly text
I've said
messages
awful things during fights. I think most humans have.
And I think it's really unfortunate that you know, creators, like, we're like held to this ridiculous standard because everything that we say is like recorded, documented, and there. So it's really easy to point out inconsistencies and to attack someone, especially when you're anonymous and you don't have to take any responsibility for anything you've ever done. It feels good and it's easy to be like, I would never, yikes, like what a bad person. Feels good. It's like, this is the problem on the internet. But I do think it started an important conversation and shown a lot of women, like, I think it's important for women to see those texts and for them to look very familiar and then to see people talking about it and being like, that's not okay. And them seeing like women being like, get out of there. This is not good. This is not okay. These are not boundaries. Like, I think it's important for people to see that. I think it's equally devastating that there are so many men coming out saying like, this is ridiculous. This isn't even bad.
And I think that's crazy. Like, I think they're not even pausing to think like, you know, like, oh, is there extra context? They're just like, oh no, that's boundaries. And it's like, you don't set boundaries in the middle of a relationship. Anyway, so everyone was over. We watched 500 Days of Summer.
Butthole guy. So then Ludwig picks up the remote. We're at the end of the night. You know, we're all chatting. Ludwig picks up the remote. He pulls up YouTube, and he's like, "Have you guys seen the YouTuber? He's all over TikTok right now. Apparently, he's completely blown up. Who did the tutorial on how to use Nair on his butthole? Okay.
His name is Kevin Leonardo."
Okay.
And the title, it's 2 weeks old. It has 25 million views for the record. And the title is Removing Butt Hairs Using Nair Cream, a visual guide. If you guys don't know what Nair is, it's this cream you put on yourself and it burns off all your hair follicles. It's like a low level acid is how my chemistry teacher literally explained it to me. I used it in high school on my legs and stuff. It's great. Except for it smells awful. It smells terrible. My chemistry teacher was like, these are bad chemicals. You probably don't want to put these on your body. And I was like, okay. And then I never used it since. But anyway, that's what Nair is. And so this video, by the way, is 3 minutes long, 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Within the first 5 seconds of the video, he says, I'm going to teach you how to use Nair to remove butt hair. And he says, this is what my butthole looks like right now. And he stands up, spreads cheeks, and it is full butthole.
How is it still up?
Because you can see nudity on YouTube.
You can?
It doesn't get advertised anywhere, but if you go on, like, you have to directly search it. So if you go on YouTube and you search naked yoga, it's porn.
Oh.
But it's educational because it's yoga.
Oh.
Okay. And he has this new video 8 days ago. Oh, well, let me finish. Okay. So he shows his butthole. And then he while pulling his butt cheeks apart, he smears Nair of like spreading peanut butter on a on a sandwich, and he just smears it up, and he's like, okay, this is what it looks like, we'll wait. And then he waits 2 minutes and he like does the wipe test, and it's like, I'm not kidding you, the angle is just butthole, and like by the end you get pretty used to his butthole. And then he waits 2 more minutes and he wipes, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna shower, and he goes and showers, and he comes back and he's just full spread, and he's like, it did pretty good removing hair. And meanwhile he's like a turtle, like he's just breathing out of his butthole, like his butthole is just opening and closing while you're just staring into like God's eye. It is crazy. And the memes have been incredible because
I haven't seen any.
All the memes on TikTok and stuff, they're like, which Ludwig showed them to us, or he talked about them. They're like, man, I wish my YouTuber got to the point this quickly. Like,
that's fair. It's not 8 minutes of butthole. He could be making a lot of money.
I'm making you watch just the first 10 seconds. You have to. Peer pressure.
I don't want to see his butthole.
Oh my god, the thumbnail.
Ew! Oh. Oh, that thumbnail is crazy.
I know.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I can't believe how, like, this is actually hilarious. The way that he edits it so.
Oh my god.
It's a TikTok.
It's a TikTok. And he is so, like, what a confident king. Love him for that.
Yeah, like, he just acts like it's totally like a makeup tutorial.
Like, it made me feel like so normal. I'm scared because he has a video from 8 days ago that is how to douche your butt, a detailed guide. And I'm terrified for how detailed that guide is.
I don't want to see that either. Can you delete this so it doesn't look like Ludwig sent me removing butt hairs using Nair cream in Discord, please? It makes me really uncomfortable. Thank you.
Isn't that crazy?
Insane. I don't like it.
There's no way he's monetized either because it's a butthole.
Oh, right. Never mind.
So it's like you get 25 million views, and for what?
Growth.
What kind of growth?
Maybe he's got other platforms. Probably does. Does he not have, like, any?
You can't monetize that. Oh,
you don't think he's like trying to transfer his audience somewhere else? Think they want to see more?
I don't think there's more to see.
Can I tell you something really embarrassing?
Yeah.
Someone told me one time that there was a guy in Austin who was a chef, like a personal chef, and he cooks meals for streamers. Like, you can pay him to meal prep for you, essentially. And someone told me that he had an OnlyFans and he would do cooking tutorials on the OnlyFans, but then at the end of the video, he would slap his dick in the food. And that was his OnlyFans page. And, like, that's what he did.
Is this the same food that he would give to streamers?
No.
That'd be so cool.
And I went and told people that this guy was in Austin. I was like, yeah, there's a chef, but he slapped his dick in the food. So I don't know if you want to hit him up for, like, meal prep. Turns out it's not true. Like, someone told me that at a party, and they were literally fucking with me, and I was just like, that's crazy. Like, what do you mean? That's so insane.
Funny.
And
how did he figure out it wasn't true?
The guy that I met, his roommate, the chef's roommate, and I was like, you're roommates with a guy that has the OnlyFans where he slaps his dick in food after he makes it? And he's like, that's not true. And I don't remember who told me, but I believed it off the bat, and they told me it like it was true, and I don't remember who it was, and it drives me insane that I don't know who told me that. But I went and spread that rumor because I thought it was not a rumor. I thought it was true.
I had this, we talked about this briefly, I think, like, maybe on the Patreon episode, maybe we haven't talked about it. I'm doing stand-up on August 17th. Did I not tell you that?
You did not tell me that.
Oh.
What? Have you started writing? Where?
Yeah. What?
Are people buying tickets?
I don't know. It hasn't been announced yet.
You just announced it. You told me that.
Oops. It's my friend Ben, who does stand-up.
Okay.
He runs a show once a month. And he was like, and I've talked about how I've wanted to do it. And he's like, do you want a type 5? And I'm like, I can do a type 5. No problem.
What's that?
It's just 5 minutes. 5 minutes stand-up. Easy. Okay. No problem.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Have you started writing?
Well, I'm just gonna. You've heard my bit. You've heard it's my kidnap bit.
You got kidnapped when you were a child.
Yeah. No.
Really
No, that's a real story, and that's trauma. Thank you. That was not a lie. No, the thing about, like, if you get kidnapped as an adult, you should act possessed and, like, da-da-da-da.
And then you're gonna do that?
And I'm gonna do that whole bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good bit, right?
Yeah.
You laugh at it. I've told it to you like 4 times on like 4 different podcasts, and every time you laugh.
Yeah. But you're not doing it right now, so why would I laugh? Like, what?
I'm just saying, like, you're talking like it's not a good bit. I've had that bit written forever.
No, it's great. I'm excited for you.
Great. Okay, so that's the bit I'm doing, but it's like made me write a few more things recently. And I was playing with the idea of going down this pipeline of a bit where I talk about how my family is like really Republican and they're into conspiracies. And so I'm just going to start lying about conspiracies to get them to believe good things. like I'll be like, Trump only eats organic food that's humanely sourced, and like just like funny lies like that. And I was working on that the other day, and that kind of reminded me of like lying, like your story, but like I was trying to think of like funny ways to get there. But anyway.
Wait, so can viewers buy tickets to watch you?
If they want to.
Oh my God.
It's live.
You're gonna be a stand-up comedian. Is this your first time doing stand-up?
Yeah, like official.
Yeah. What if you love it?
Great.
What if that's like it for you? What if you
know, that's my backup. That's what I've always wanted to do once I'm done with streaming, like use my platform for stand-up.
One, so surprised you haven't told me, bad friend, and two, why I'm so excited about it. That's huge.
Yeah, I think I'm just, because I'm not doing any new material, and I think I'm totally fine. I genuinely think the kidnap material is good.
Is it in LA?
Yeah.
Oh, it's such an inconvenient time. Can you stream it?
17th. I'm not going to stream it. I learned it's a faux pas. This is actually something I learned. No. Because the reason most comedians don't stream their stand-up or they don't post it online is because you save it for a special, because then you can only use it like once, once it's like, so usually when like Chelsea Handler goes on tour, she'll do her whole tour and they'll record a few shows and then they'll splice that together and that will be the Netflix special. And then she won't use those jokes the next time she goes on tour. So once it's published, like back in the day when there wasn't like, Netflix or like stuff like that, comedians had it kind of easy. And it was actually a big issue because that's how like, it was easier to like steal jokes. Like Amy Schumer is like known for that. Like she would go to like open mics and just steal smaller comedians' jokes since she had a following, which actually kind of scares me. Like I have the same fear with comedy as I do with,
that you're accidentally going to do it.
Yeah, that I'm actually like, I have this weird fear of like being framed for murder or something, like, or like my cookbook. So I'm like so scared of like publishing a recipe and them being like, no, that already exists.
Framed for murder, but
like, you know what I'm saying.
No, I go.
But I don't know. I've done the friggin' kidnap bit for so long that like, I feel like I've plenty of proof that I've never stolen it. But yeah, I just get so nervous about like, you say because there's only like, I've heard people say jokes that are similar enough that I'm like, because I consume quite a bit of stand-up. But like, I think there's just only so many ways you can tell a joke.
Mm-hmm.
So many concepts as well. So I don't know. But so I'm not streaming it. I'm not filming it. It's just going to be in person.
Wicked.
Should be good, I think. I'm going to do a few open mics this month too, just to get used to it.
Oh my God. What the frick?
So yeah.
You're going.
I'm just, I'm just trying to find fulfillment in life. Trying to feel something.
Speaking of which, I have a meeting next week about a children's book.
Hell yeah.
I want to write a children's book about bugs. And I'm not going to tell you the concept because you're going to steal it.
I want the concept to be a little ant and he loves pizza and he's trying to find pizza and it's his journey about trying to find pizza. And then he finally finds pizza and then someone smushes him and then you get really sad.
Similar concept. Yeah. It's just going to be like, bugs are good. Be nice to bugs. I think it's important to start kids. So we both are feeling out new routes,
Anyway,
testing
so the butthole guy.
Yeah. Wait, we're done with that. No?
We're done with that. But then when Sea Dog VA was in town, he told Ludwig about this show called Naked Attraction. Have you ever heard of it?
Oh, no.
It's insane. So it's on Channel 4 in the UK.
Okay.
And you take one person and there's 6 contestants and all the contestants are in like a box and the box is all 4 sides. Okay. But they are in that box naked and then there's the one person that's clothed in the middle. The first round, they lift it up just so their dicks are showing. And then the woman chooses who to eliminate based off their penis.
I hate television and the way that it like destroys people's lives. I watched Hoarders for the first time yesterday, and I was like, this is so wrong.
Exploitative. Yeah.
Like the way they just like ruin people's lives for content. That's like, that would fuck a guy up if he was the first to get eliminated just by his penis.
Yeah. And then it goes up and it shows like their nipples and their chest. And then it goes up and it shows their face. So each round someone gets eliminated. Someone gets eliminated face round. And they're just standing there butt ass naked while they get eliminated face round.
Awful.
And then there's 3 left at this point, and then they all have to talk, and someone gets eliminated for their voice.
Oh my god.
And then with the 2 left, the main person, so girly, Ashley leaves the room. She comes back naked. And then she chooses who she wants to keep, and then they go on a date.
Naked? The date's naked?
No, it's a normal date. But the whole concept is like naked attraction, and it's impossible to watch it and not giggle, genuinely. Like, and the close-ups, they'll do these camera close-ups like on the foreskin. Like, they'll be like, he's and the lady will be like, how do you like your minge? Like, she'll like it's crazy. Like,
your what?
Minge, like it's a for pubic hair. Or something for women.
Never heard that.
Yeah, and they do it. They do it. So then so that's like 15 minutes, and then the other 15 minutes they swap. So it's 6 females in the thing, and it's like, and I'll tell you what, if there's anything to take from that show, if you are an insecure person, watch that show. Your body will be normalized in 2 seconds, or you'll be like, my body's great compared to this. So there's that. Because I'll tell you what, I saw some weird looking vaginas really close up. They were funky.
Here's the thing, ladies. If you watch that show and you are self-conscious about what your vagina looks like compared to these other women's vaginas, remember that every guy you've ever met has a story about putting his dick in something that is not alive. And they don't care. They don't care. At the end of the day, if they like you as a person, they don't care. You could leave a bowl of hot pudding on a table, and some man out there would stick their dick in it. They will stick their dick through a literal wall.
They'll put their dick in a can of chili. So as long as your vagina is better than a can of cold chili,
you are just fine. They're all different. It doesn't matter.
Oh, but you will watch it and you will find someone with your vagina potentially, and you'll be like, oh, my vagina is normal.
Really? There you go. You got that going.
Or, dude, it's crazy what you see, and they're so close up. Like, it's a crazy show.
Yeah, that's too much.
It's crazy. And sometimes, so there's this girl that won one show, and they go on the date and they come back like a month later and they're like, hey, did you guys hit it off? And there was one couple that they've been like, yes, we love each other. Like, we're going to move in together. And it was like crazy. And then there's another couple. We only watched that full episode with Connor. But then the other couple, they were like, we didn't really hit it off. Like, she doesn't want kids and I have a kid. So what can you do? But then since we had watched Butthole together with all of my friends, we were going down that rabbit hole, and we're like, oh, have you ever heard of Naked Attraction? And they're like, no. And then we pull that up and we start like watching it. And then I realized that maybe we like threw off the vibes of movie night because we just started watching porn. Oops. But it's not porn because they weren't like having sex. Anyway, whatever. And we pull it up, and the same girl that went on the date with the guy was on it again.
She wants to be famous.
She either wants to be famous or they can't find a lot of people to do it.
Yeah. Maybe it's that. I didn't think about that.
It's crazy. And there's really like gorgeous people. Like, most of the people are very average looking people. honestly. And so it's like very, like I said, it's very like makes you feel normal, which is good. You're like, oh, great.
Well, maybe we should watch
Crazy
that
show.
together on the Patreon.
I'm nervous that we'll offend people if we watch it on the Patreon, because there's no way we won't see a penis and go, "Dah!" And the funny thing about the penises is so they kind of like fluff themselves a little bit. So like one shot they'll be hard, the next shot they'll be soft, the next shot they'll be in between.
Oh my God.
It's so funny. Yeah, that's
Okay.
That's what I want to talk about.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Speaking of the Patreon, we were supposed to talk about our first today, but we've been doing this for an hour. So should we do that on the Patreon, or you want to save it for the next YouTube episode?
I don't know. I'm open to either.
Let's do it on the Patreon.
Okay. You want to talk about first on the Patreon? I also have like more to talk about.
We can just talk on the Patreon then, and if we don't get to first, we can do them on the next.
Yeah. But are we done with this episode? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all wrapped up. Wow, I've got more to talk about on the Patreon. I'm talking Terry over here.
Yeehaw, guys.
Did I talk too much this episode?
No, I feel like I talked quite a bit. I mean, I think in general I talk less, but like I just talk less as a person. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's fine. She's anxious. The takeaways from this episode are, number one, how do I say that? Number one, if your significant other is trying to control who you talk to and who you're friends with and what you do and what you dress, like what you wear, it's not a good sign. You should check on that, reflect on that, even if they're really nice to you. Number two, your genitalia can look any sort of way because all men have fucked a couch cushion in their life.
Oh my God, quite literally, one of my boyfriends told me, because like sometimes I ask boyfriends like, when was the first time you masturbated? And he was like, I fucked a couch.
The couch. Yeah. So you have that. So you're fine. And number three, go sub to the Patreon because we're going to do more over there right now.
Yay. And there's a Speak Now masterclass that's 8 hours long going on the Patreon, as well as the Weed About It episode. So hope you guys are excited.
The Weed About It episode. I'm actually excited to watch that. I think it's going to be funny.
I don't know if it was. I don't remember it.
She was so secondhand high.
So contact high. It was crazy.
All right, we'll see you guys on the Patreon.
Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.